Hey everyone, it is Saturday, June 29th, 2024. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be even releasing this on YouTube, just doing it for my own personal logs and kind of with the possibility of an audience watching this. I tend to, I guess, maybe try harder or put the best out there. So I kind of wanted to just do this so I can do this review with the best way that I can. Um, Currently, I am going through my trades since starting the one share trading. Um, we can look at my trader sync real quick. Yeah, so this is my trader sync. So I started recording videos on the 23rd, I believe. Yeah, Sunday the 23rd, I recorded my first video. And so I took these trades on the 21st. But I had these trades before. And so I was just thinking for this month in review, I can just go over all these trades and kind of understand where my mind was, what I did right, what I did wrong, what I can improve on, and in general, was it a good trade, a bad trade, and just everything in between. I want to fill this out as well. I've already filled out the U short I did. I did stupid mistakes. Like for some reason, early on in this, before I started the videos and stuff, I tried to like size the prices similar. So like if the stock was less money, I would try to I would buy more shares of it to kind of standardize it so my profit factor wouldn't be like out of whack. But I've realized I should just be doing one share no matter what, and my profit factor may be not as accurate as when I do full time or when I do full size trading, as then I would have it sized accordingly. But it's just seems to me like, I mean, it's riskier doing more shares first of all, but also that's in my opinion not the most important part. If I'm doing one share and I have a high win rate, that's the only thing that really matters with one share. And then as I size up, I can adjust accordingly to have my profit factor match that. But win rate is the most important thing as of right now. So we can start. So Dell. I want to pull this to the side and put my one option up. Okay, so we have Dell. Let's go to Dell. All right, so we have Dell. I went long one share at this was on the June 18th at 12:44 p.m. I did one share and I got in at $152.84. So we can look first of all what the D1's doing on the 18th. So the 18th, we have, this was a day trade. So I had the 3-day trades. This is when I really started just trying to like hold myself accountable and started to really track. Because I did paper trade, I did one share plenty of times, but I never was consistent with my journaling and I never was consistent with my execution. I was kind of like half-assing it and kind of just going about it like laissez-faire and not putting in the effort that's needed to do this and learn this for a full-time career. So that's when I started switching things up on the 18th. I mean, it wasn't perfect that early on. It still isn't now, but it's getting better. I'm able to do more, and I'm able to, I feel like, organize stuff better and on paper and on my mind. So journaling was one of those things that I wanted to start. And that kind of was followed by the Reddit post and my videos on YouTube. So back to the trade. So on June 18th, June 18th. So June 18th. And then we get SPYs June 18th up. June 20th, June 18th. So at 12:44, 12:45 around that time, it's right here. It seemed like SPY opened pretty flat. I mean, closed 547, opened 547. It opened flat. Green key bar or green, a long green bar early in the day, followed by chop. Then it broke below VWAP with a red key bar. Found support around the 546.70, 547 level, around there. Came back up around VWAP and then chopped basically on VWAP for the rest of the day. Dell, the reason why I liked Dell that day was the early strength it showed. It was relatively strong compared to the market, basically all day. It, however, had some selling at 1050, and then I took a position at 1245. So basically after this red key bar or this green key bar, I took a position, and then I sold it about 15 minutes later at 1. So around here, the high of the day, it seems like. So again, this trade, I was profitable, but it's just in a shorter period of time from the 18th to today, I have a very different kind of change of mindset of when it comes to trading. This was kind of a pretty poor trade in my opinion. It was rushed. It was not logical, executed. It wasn't logically executed. It was just kind of it followed relative strength. It had relative strength compared to the market. But, the market didn't even have really any direction. And the stock was strong early on, but it kind of lost a lot of its strength. But it wasn't a horrible trade. It just probably wasn't executed the best. Something with this, I would have waited until maybe an LRSI alert, maybe around what is this time? The 11:15, maybe it would have got in once it bounced off VWAP. Especially after this green key bar, maybe it would have gotten in around here, and then would have made 150. Maybe it made a little less than $3, maybe around $2, which is pretty decent. That would have been a better trade in my opinion. And not even to know, I was actually on vacation during this trade, so I probably shouldn't have been trading. I should have been just more monitoring the market instead of trading it. So this trade, it wasn't the worst. It wasn't the best. It was a lot to be improved upon. So I'm actually going to be I'm going to be filling out that PowerPoint later after this video, but I want to get all this information kind of down. So I'm going to write it. Dell better entry around 11:15 after VWAP bounce. That just would have been a better position to go long in. It was strong, there's no doubt about it, but this was red key bar, can't be ignored, and it sold off a little bit, but it found support above VWAP, and that's when I would have been a little, with the market around 11:15 finding support as well. I would have been comfortable going long around 11:20. Even around this compression a little bit, like around 12 maybe. That still would have been a decent gain, way better than what I got. Just maybe because I wasn't as present as I should have been because I was on vacation, and also I wasn't as aware of what I should be aware of now that I've been journaling a lot more and documenting a lot more. So yeah, that was that trade. I made a 85-cent return, which the ATR of Dell is 5.49%. Get my calculator out. So I got in at like 152. So really, I should have been expecting my profit target should have been better. I mean, it kind of stalled, but I'm sure there was better longs to go, better longs out there than Dell. But it still was an okay trade. Just wasn't executed the best. All right, I don't want to take too much more time out in Dell, so we can move on. DKNG, DraftKings. So I also traded this on June 18th. I had my 3-day trades, and I used them, I'm pretty sure, all up on that day. I kind of was, again, I wasn't doing what I should have been doing. I wasn't focused. I was kind of just using the knowledge I had, but also not being disciplined enough to use it to the best of my ability. So these trades up until basically after you and NVIDIA were not the most thought out, to be honest. Even the ones after, there's a lot of mistakes that I have, but that's the reason why I'm documenting all this stuff. So DraftKings, I got in. So this is one of those trades I told you that I was trying to size accordingly based off like the price, which I shouldn't have been doing. So this one I did 3 shares because it was like just cheaper than Dell, and I had like a base of like, I don't know, like $300 a trade or something like that, or maybe $150 a trade. I don't know. But I got into into DraftKings at 109. So we can pull DraftKings, DKNG. Let's go all the way back to the 18th. It's the 18th. No. All right. So DraftKings was obviously strong on the 18th. I got in at 109. So basically right after this green key bar, I got in at like right here. And like as you can see, there was still room for a move. Like it still went up. It's just it already had a ton of strength early on, and it already moved a lot for DraftKings. The ATR of this stock is like $1.76, $1.75, something like that. if I wanted to try to day trade it for a fourth of the ATR, so like 45 cents about, would be a decent target. Maybe close to $1 would be decent. This stock, these Dell and this stock, I wasn't really day trading. I was kind of messing around, to be honest. That's what I view it as now. I wasn't in the trade for too long, less than an hour. Because I was on vacation, didn't have a lot of time. And, I mean, it's no excuse, but, just how it is. And in order to improve, I need to be truthful about that. So, yeah. So I got in around 109 and exited about at 152. So I'm pretty sure I exited during this green, or like right here. So it was very small profit. I made 42 cents for the 3 shares, so like 14 cents per share. It's 14 cents per share, which is not great. I mean, that's not even a fourth of the ATR. And something like this stock, it was super strong during the day while the market wasn't doing anything. So it was definitely a good stock to day trade. It had a lot of steam. I mean, the volume wasn't great, but it obviously had strength. So for something like this, I would have probably tried to found. I would probably have, if I was not on vacation, I was actively trading. I would hope I would have found it earlier around this time. Saw the strength early on. Put in maybe like a HA reversal alert, and it would have triggered like here. I think at 2 flat bottoms for the bullish side. So I wouldn't got in around like 12 instead of like 1, and that's a much larger move higher. So that was what I would have changed about that trade. In general, I really shouldn't have been trading that day, as I said, but that's just kind of how it was. Next trade. NVIDIA, I day traded. Same day, 18th. Go to the 18th. Okay, 18th. So you see NVIDIA is strong, definitely compared to the market, has relative strength, above VWAP, decent volume, pretty good volume, especially since SPY had horrible volume. So definitely had a lot of characteristics that I'm looking for a long. I mean, it would go up, chop around, go up, chop around, go up, chop around. So it wasn't the strongest of the strong, but on a day like the 18th, it was pretty dang strong. And I think this definitely would have been a good day trade. So I traded it. I did only trade 1 share since NVIDIA is $130 something when I was trading it. So we can just go to the trade. I got on in at 1:12 p.m. So like around here, 1:12 p.m. Exited 1:51 p.m. So like about the all-time high for the day, or the day all-time high for the day, yeah. So yeah, I got in at 135.21, exited at 136. So that was a decent trade. I made 79 cents for the share. And I really could have made more, but I wasn't aware of the stock, and this was the day I was on vacation, and so I didn't see it early on. I wasn't on my computer early on. So yeah, just same stuff for this stock as the other ones. But overall, this wasn't a horrible trade. I mean, definitely had relative strength. And really everything you want in a long position. So it wasn't the worst trade. It's just, again, I wish something I really need to work on is entering well. This is obviously strength early on, especially compared to the market. I mean, it immediately starts chopping. NVIDIA has at least some strength, then it chops a little bit. Once it's able to form some type of support above VWAP right around 1110, and right when I would see this first green key bar, I would have gone long. And that's like a 134 to 130. That's like a $2 profit per share, which is much better than what I got. But just entering better, being aware of the market, and just kind of being aware of everything is very important. Okay, we can go next. SEDG, Sedge. I traded this on the 18th as well, but I had to swing this one because I ran out of the 3 day trades. So I traded 4 shares of this. 4 shares. Oh, this is up. Traded 4 shares of this, and just because the whole pricing thing I already went over. I got in at 1:17 p.m. Let me go back to the 18th. Okay, here's 18th. So I shorted Sedge at 1:17. 1:17. So around here, and then exited. So 1:17 p.m. at 36.73. So around here. Yeah, right here. And then I exited on the 20th at 9:30, so right at the open, at 33.84. So basically right when the market opened, I exited. This is due to just because it dipped down a lot. As you can see on the 18th to the 20th, had a major dip or major gap down. So I wanted to take profits from that gap down, and so I made $11.52 for the whole trade, and it was about $2.88 per share. This trade is I'm happy with this trade. I identified the weakness in the daily. I knew I had to have a weak daily chart to have because I had to swing it. Sedge was nice. Sedge is still nice for a short. It's kind of found support around like the 124.80 level. Around that level. So it also had another major gap down on the 24th to the 25th. But in general, I think Sedge is still a decent short. It's super weak. But this trade I'm happy with. I feel like this was a good place to take gains. Maybe I should have took only half, but I felt like I got decent profit for the trade. Anything else I think I messed up on in this trade? I mean, I shouldn't have done 4 shares. I should have done 1, just because that's just how you should do it. Unless I'm completely wrong with that. But I mean, I guess just entering in when I was busy. I need to be aware when I do trades, and I want to start doing what I've been doing today with this month in review thing. Is I want to be annotating every single chart before I enter to the trade. I want to annotate the SPY, and I want to annotate the stock on a D1 basis and an M5 basis on every possible thing that I see, so that I'm just aware, aware of everything. Does it really check off all the boxes in my mind and on paper? Like, does it really look good to me? Because early on in my trading, I really want to focus on just taking the highest probability trades. I don't want to mess around with stupid trades because I don't know enough yet. I don't know these trades that like Harry and like Dave are doing that are a lot more complex than just relative strength, relative weakness. I want to just focus solely on the high probability trades to build my confidence up, and then I can do other less lower probability trades in the future once I understand this system to the best of my ability. So that's really what I want to work on. I want to be more picky with stocks. I want to just kind of have the stock earn my trust in a way by analyzing it a lot more, by only entering well, and just kind of do that. Of course, I'm going to be missing some stocks just because that takes time, and during that time could be the move. But I need to come to terms with that and be okay with that, because you can't, especially early on, you cannot expect a high win rate while taking like every trade. It's just not, they don't go together early on in the journey. But hopefully the analysis will become second nature to me, and it will happen in seconds or maybe a couple minutes. I just look at the chart and do it real quick instead of having to sit down, annotate it and everything. But I need to kind of work that muscle a little bit until I'm able to do that. So back to the stocks. The next pick is Target. I took this on the 18th as well. A lot of trading on the 18th. Probably too much. But Target I took on the 18th. What days? 18th. Target, I don't like the D1 very much. I went long. Where did I go? No, I went short Target. All right, sorry. So Target. I went short on the 18th. Looking back at this D1, I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, as a day trade, maybe, but it's just choppy. It breaks through his 50, chops back up a little bit, bounces back through his 100, goes to his 200, bounces back up to his 100, bounces down to his 200. What's going to do next? Bounce back to its 100, who really knows? It has earnings in about 2 months. So I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking with this D1, especially a swing trade, but we'll see the M5. this whole trade might have been just a mistake, to be honest. So M5 wise, it was weak for the day. I mean, it was definitely weak compared to the market. I definitely think this could have been a decent day trade. I mean, the volume's like horrible, but I mean, it could have been a decent day trade. But I don't know why. I mean, I know it's because of PDT rule, I couldn't day trade anymore. But I don't know why I took this trade, knowing that I couldn't swing it, or knowing that I had to swing it. But for a day trade, it's obviously weak. It's obviously found resistance below VWAP. So day trade wise, it was good, but I can go over my position. So on June 18th, I took a position, one share at 142.54 at 213. So like here, basically the low today. So that was a horrible entry on my part. Yeah. This was not that great of a. This was actually not a horrible entry. I mean, this was. Yeah, I mean it was weak, but this is a horrible entry. I don't know why I took it. The volume's horrible. So entry, I need to work on. Yeah. So I mean, I'm pretty sure I was down for the day. Into the next day. I ended up closing it at 141.91 at the open. So I'm guessing, yeah, I mean, this is what happened. Like, when it pulled back, I think when it opened here, yeah, and pulled back. So this trade was not a good trade on my part at all. I got lucky with this pullback. I mean, I don't think the stock's seen that level since. Oh, I guess it hasn't. No, I don't think it's seen it since. I mean, I guess I checked the D1. 1-4. So on June 18th here, yeah, it saw it was it was down at the open, but it hasn't seen this level since. So yeah, I got lucky. This trade was not a good trade on my part. I should have never taken this, but I kind of learned from these mess ups, and this was definitely a mess up. So even though I made 63 cents for the share, which is not that much for Target, especially for a swing trade, it was a horrible trade on my part. Bad entry, no volume. The daily is not as horrible to lean on, especially for a short. I mean, I was right next to the 200 SMA. I don't know why I took this trade, but all right, enough for Target. TWLO. Gosh, I took this on the 18th as well. I don't know why I was trading so much on the 18th. I mean, I must have just, I don't know. So I was short TWLO on June 18th. So right here. Again, this daily chart is horrible. I mean, it's weak, maybe, but like, it's not that. It's like choppy and like, it's not orderly at all. So I don't know why I took this trade either. I mean, as a day trade, maybe, let's see. But I didn't day trade it because I couldn't. So let's see, the 18th. Okay, the 18th, yeah, it's definitely weak on a day trading, on a M5 basis. There's no doubt about it. And I think this could have been a good day trade. I mean, the volume isn't great. I mean, it's not really good at all. But I still think this could have been a decent day trade if entered well. Maybe not at this pullback a little bit, found support around here, maybe enter around here, and exit around when it starts to form some type of support here. I mean, definitely a possible day trade, but horrible swing trade on my part. I got lucky again with this stock. So I entered at 52.77 at 225. So like here, so pretty close to the low of the day. And I exited the next day at basically the open at 52.55. So I made 66 cents. I made 66 cents and 22 cents per share. I took 3 shares of this because of the whole pricing thing that I thought I needed to do. So again, trade horrible. This was not a good setup. The D1 was a horrible first swing trade. I mean, it hasn't seen that level since. So luck. This was a lucky trade, and I need to know this, that it was luck and not a good trade on my part. All right, let's go to our next one, BIDU. I went short BIDU on the 20th. So BIDU. So yes, this is a very weak. I mean, I know this stock on the daily as well. It's super weak. This is a decent swing short to take as well, just because how weak it's been. I mean, it hasn't seen a green day in a while. I mean, barely. Really hasn't seen one since June 5th. And still, it was just sellers showed its strength like constantly. So I like BIDU still as a short and a short swing, especially if the market has a dip. I really like BIDU. But back to the trade. Again, I did multiple shares of this instead of just one because so I did 10, and it looks like I was like averaging. Looks like I was averaging up or averaging down. I don't know. So I was I was adding basically. So what day is this? Let's go back to the 18th. Okay. Oh no, I was the 20th. Okay. So definitely weak. Definitely opens weak. Possibly found some support around the 89 level. Bounced up a little bit, but sellers are still present. The volume is also it's pretty good. It's above average. So it's pretty decent. It seems like it kind of got this resistance level stuck around and this support. So kind of in a range a little bit through the day, but had mostly selling. I mean, it's pretty strong selling up until around 1:30, but I got in at multiple times. I got in at 9:55 a.m., 10:35 a.m., 2:48 p.m. So in my mind, I was adding. Let's really see if I actually was. So 9:55, a little early for my standards usually. I don't really like going in until around 10:30 most of the time, maybe 10 earliest. I like to give the market at least 30 minutes to do its thing until I can see a clearish trend possibly, or see what we're going to be doing for the rest of the day maybe. But I got in around 9:55 around this candle. I saw the weakness. This was definitely probably an early entry. I should have maybe waited for a possible pullback to VWAP. which it never did, but I probably should have set a set some type of alert, maybe LSRI, LRSI, and it would have brought me to getting short this stock around here, so around 11:30, which is still a nice short for the day. But again, I need to swing trade this stock because of PDT. So I did enter early, so not the best entry on my part. So entry is definitely something I need to work on. I'm too I rush entries too much. And usually in this case it worked in my favor, but usually it's gonna kind of it's gonna go against me. I feel like most of the time it's gonna, because this could have went down, found support, bounced right back above VWAP. It didn't confirm its strong selling. Besides the D1 for the day, it didn't confirm its strong selling until it really can't with 3 candles. It needs at least a couple more around here to know that the selling's strong, especially to the market. The market was choppy, but it was weak. It was weaker than it was strong. It stayed around VWAP a little bit, but then around 11:30ish, it started to drop. It wasn't like a dramatic drop or anything, but it still did. So yeah, this stock definitely showed weakness early on, but looking back, I probably shouldn't have taken this trade until I had some type of good entry point. And again, as I was going over, I'm not going to get every trade, so maybe this was a trade that I wouldn't have gotten if I entered well, but I need to be more disciplined with entry. So around this area would have been a good entry place in my mind looking back, and that could have served for a great day trade if I could day trade, or even a potential entry for a swing, just for how weak this stock is on the D1 basis. And then I sold it the next day on the 21st at the open, 9:31. So sorry about going back and all that. So the 21st at 9:31. So as you can see, basically opened flat. Then it dipped down a little bit. And this is where I think I sold it, 89. Well, closer on to the open, 89 basically, 89.01. So I sold that. I made $4.67 for the 10 shares, or 46 cents about per share. Which I don't think is horrible for a stock like BIDU. The ATR is it is $1.70 about. So that's not horrible. It's about 1/4 of an ATR, of the ATR. So I would see that more as a day trade, maybe profit target, not a swing trade. I would probably want a little more for a swing trade. And I still potentially could have held this. If I was really trying to swing trade it instead of, because I don't know, with this swing trade, like the PDT rule and everything like that, I feel like trades that I'm trying to day trade, I have to swing trade. So it kind of was like, I'm just holding until the next day because I have to. And it's kind of like whatever happens during the night, during after hours and everything like that. So maybe I have to go into the mindset of I'm purely swing trading when I don't have any day trades left. Or maybe I just go into the mindset all the time I'm purely swing trading, because 3 day trades for every 5 trading days is not a lot. And so maybe I just need to be more selective with my swing trades. Maybe go with that mindset. But this stock is just weak. I could have held it as a swing trade basis. I could have held this until, I could still be holding it if I wanted to now. I'm in it right now, but this is like the 3rd time I entered, just because this kind of just not sticking with a plan, or just kind of just taking profits too early, or not really going with the real swing trade mindset of like, I'm gonna be holding this for a swing trade instead of like a kind of a extended day trade in a way. So yeah, in general, this was an okay trade. It would have been better as a day trade if I could have done that, but it's still a good swing trade. Like I know when I was trading this, I was looking at a D1 chart and I knew it was weak, and I knew I could lean on it for a swing trade, especially shorter term. I could lean on it, and longer term if I needed to. So I knew that, and I'm overall happy with this trade, with how it went. It's just maybe the one thing I definitely need to work on is entry. I can't rush it, and I'm actually going to write that down right now just so I remember. Don't rush entries. So I just can't rush entries. Okay, we can move on for. Yeah, we have a good bit more. ALB. We can bring that up. ALB. So I took this trade on the 20th of June. So here. And you can see what it was doing on the 20th. First, 20th. Okay. So the 20th, it's not a super strong downtrend. I mean, I would say it's a gradual drift lower with a few bumps along the way. But I mean, in my mind, there's nothing crazy. I mean, it is higher volume. I mean, there's a lot of red key bars in this, which is definitely shows selling strength. But it's not like it like consecutive red candle down, 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 down. It's kind of a slow drip lower. Again, I traded more than one share with this stock for some reason. So I traded 4 shares at. I got in at. So I kind of added them to my position as well with this, and I got in at 94.45 my first entry, and then 95.66 my second entry, or my ad. My average entry price was $95, basically $95.05, and then I exited. So I got in at 10.51. Yeah, so not the best entry again. That's something I'm definitely seeing a pattern with. Basically the low of the day, or the low of the day. So I got in at that around here at 94.45. So basically the low of the day. Great. And then I added. This is not really a great ad, in my opinion. I mean, it was a horrible entry and not a great ad. So I got in at 95.66 at 12.58. So, see, this wasn't a horrible ad. I mean, it bounced off VWAP. This should have been. I should have set an alert at LRSI to get in around here. Yeah, so these two would have been a good place to get around. I mean, this is, yeah. But, that's something I need to work on entry. So then I got out the next day at 9:30. So the open again when it I think this gap down. Got out at 93.26, 9:30 a.m. And I made $7.19 for the 4 shares and $1.80 per share. So again, this is not the greatest trade. I think I got basically pretty lucky. Horrible entry, and I shouldn't have added. Really, where I added, I should have took a trade if I wanted to really trade this stock. The D1 is it's okay for a swing trade. I think for a short, it's not the best. It's kind of like a little choppy. It's not really very. I mean, it's just these past since like maybe like early June, it has been pretty heavy selling. But I mean, as you can see, it's starting to chop around a little bit again. So it could see another leg lower. It has this high minus trend line low minus trend line to get through. But we'll see. I wouldn't take it as a short swing trade. I mean, day trade it possibly, but as a short swing trade, I would not take this as of right now. Possibly if it breaks below the low of the 21st, maybe. But yeah, just in general, this trade wasn't the best. It wasn't the worst, but yeah, a lot to improve on still with this trade as well. Okay, so now we're back to where I started my video logs, or kind of. This is the Friday to the 21st. This is the Friday before I started the video logs. So back to you. So obvious weakness on the daily. So I shorted it. See, this is another instance where I did more than one share. I did 20 shares. And 20 shares of and I did 10 shares. I did 10 shares, and I added another 10 shares later, about 3 hours later, right before the close. It seems like it. So on June 21st. Yeah, and by the way, I'm sorry this video is so long. I just want to keep it as a log to kind of visualize and kind of just recap everything. It's documented for my own sake. So I shorted on June 21st. My first 10 shares that I shorted was at the price of $15.66 at 108. So it was about up here. That was a decent entry looking back. But still, this stock today wasn't showing any weakness, so I shouldn't have felt rushed on the daily to go long the stock. I mean, if we look at the M15, where's the 21st? I mean, there's no entry point. It's never below VWAP, so really, there's no entry point. It's not showing any weakness, so why short it at this time? This was followed by even more strength the next day. So really, I would possibly have taken this short. I mean, once it confirms below VWAP, so I guess I would start maybe taking it not even until the 28th. But this stock is not the worst to short. It's just not the best it's not the best of the best right now. And I'll go over that. But so I added at near the end of the day on the 20th or 21st. Yeah. So I added at $16.01 at 358. So basically the last candle I added. That was not a smart add. In general, again, this trade wasn't great. It was rushed. It wasn't logically thought out. There's nothing on the M5 that goes short the stock as of right now. It wasn't below VWAP. It just wasn't a great shorter time frame entry. As I said, it was followed by even more strength the next day. and I ended up selling it on the 24th. The 24th. I saw the strength of this day, and I have to say I got scared out of it. I sold it at 11:05. So basically, in the heat of its really strong uptrend, 11:05 at $16.38. So I lost $11.05 or about 55 cents per share. So not a great trade at all. So as we mentioned already, my entry wasn't good. It was pretty bad. And but also looking back at the stock, I could have potentially held it longer than I did and either took a smaller loss or just still be holding it, because my initial game plan wasn't to sell it for a loss until it reached closed above the halfway point of this red key bar on the June 13th, and it didn't. But this this buying strength scared me off. I mean, it resulted in a green key bar, but I mean, if you look back at this stock, it kind of goes down, consolidates a little bit, and then it starts this other leg lower, goes down, consolidates a little bit. So there's still a chance, I think, that it can continue down. I mean, there's a low minus trend line present below the low at the low of the 21st. So is that support to get through? But this is not a horrible short. I personally wouldn't take it right now. Possibly if it breaks this kind of support level here around the 1590 level, and I would consider it even more if it broke down below the low of the June 21st candle of like 1520. But in general, this trade wasn't good. It was bad. The entry was bad. Common theme I'm noticing: entry bad. But yeah, it's just I need to work on my entry, and I can't be. I mean, I'm doing one share now, but I can't be adding to these trades without a very clear reason or like a logical reason to be adding. Next one, NVIDIA again. So NVIDIA. I traded this one on the 21st as well. So okay. So I initially thought, as the market was doing nothing, NVIDIA also was doing nothing. So I thought the NVIDIA was showing strength throughout on this D1 basis. So why not? Maybe this is a good opportunity to get in. And I do think NVIDIA is strong on the daily. But I did 2 shares for NVIDIA. And I entered at 126.89 at 131. So around here, 126.89. So like here. And then I exited on the Monday, the 24th, at 122.23. So it gapped down, and I exited at 10.22. I started seeing the selling early on, and it kind of scared me out as well. 122.23. It's like around, I think it's this candle. Yeah. So I exited for a loss of $9.32 or $4.66 a share, which isn't great. I mean, looking back at this trade, the mistakes I did a bad entry on an M5 basis, and a D1 basis. I mean, so I feel like I didn't respect this red key bar enough. This just shows heavy selling. This shows resistance up here. And I thought with this small dip and this kind of doji that formed, that buyers were present, which is true, but buyers are present and kind of sellers in a standoff in a way. But this heavy selling really kind of scared me out. And my initial mental stop loss was at AVWAP-E. And it got below it, but looking back at this trade, I definitely could have held this stock through this. I mean, this isn't a very pronounced breach of AVWAP-E. It's kind of just poked through a little bit, and the next day it gapped up and closed higher. And then the next day it followed by doji, basically a doji. So it's kind of just chopped. It's basically going nowhere. It's compressing right now. So I do think it has a possibility to continue upwards. Would I take this trade right now? Probably not. Day trading wise, I think it would be a good day trade, possibly if it sets up for one. But swing trade basis, I would not take this on the long side. It also has support formed on AVWAP-E based off this bounce, these two bounces basically. But it's just been going really nowhere the past couple days. And my exit wasn't the best, my entry wasn't the best, but in general, this trade wasn't the best. This D1's strong, but there's better longs out there, especially longs for a swing trading basis. There's better ones out there. So this loss was granted. It was kind of expected, based off this chart, looking back at it. So NVIDIA, not a good trade either. But just learning how. So don't rush entries. Stick with game plan. I feel like I need, along with the annotated charts, I need to make a very detailed game plan with each trade I enter, where my profit targets are, where my stop losses are. And these can't be crazy ranges either. They need to be realistic, and they need to be, the risk to reward needs to be there. I don't want to do hard stops because I know the market is always in charge. It's always supposed to be the leader of your thoughts and what you're supposed to base everything off of. But I need to have some type of rule base to kind of go off of. So actually, I commented on one of JBS's videos, and he says he uses he says he mental stops at technical levels, mental targets based on the stock's ATR, and the targets change depending on market conditions and stock trend. So I'm going to follow that advice, and I really want to base the stock. I need to look more into the ATR and what to expect for the day and for the swing trade, possibly like the price change. But I want to base it more off these technical levels, like I want to base it more off of technicals instead of just getting scared out of a trade, because I mean, of course, the market always is going to dictate if staying in a trade is actually smart, but I can't use my emotions to dictate that. I need to have the market dictate that. If the market's not showing any reason to get out of the trade, then I shouldn't get out of it. I should stick with it. So yeah, I'm going to just continue improving that aspect of my trading. So I'll write down in my notes, work on mental profit targets and mental stop losses at technical levels and ATRs. Okay. So that was NVIDIA, not the best trade. Okay, this is really where I felt like I took the next step of my journey. I started documenting stuff and I wrote my Reddit post the day before. So I went short BIDU. On the 24th. Again, we went over BIDU already, and it's super weak. So on the 24th, I went short. This is a good setup for a day trade as well, but I had to do swing trading. So I took this trade at 11:20. So I took this trade at 11:20. Again, not a good entry. Should have waited for at least an HA reversal. So, like here, I think would have been a better entry. I mean, I know it's at around the same level, but it's just about it's just about having a technical reason to enter a trade that favors your side, that favors being in profit immediately instead of being at a loss immediately. So I definitely need to work on that. So bad entry on my part, but I entered in at 11:20, as I said, at 89.12. So around here. And then I exited the next day on the 25th, 12:27. So here, at 88.48. So like here. I made 64. I did one share. So I did 60. I made 64 cents for the share. That I believe is an okay amount for BIDU. Yeah, it's about a fourth of an ATR, which I think is what a good day trade, a kind of a starting profit target for a good day trade is. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but I thought it's an okay. I mean, it was a swing trade. Potentially, I would have wanted more for a profit, but we can see what the market was doing on the 25th, or the 24th into the 25th. 24th. I mean, the past weeks the market has been just kind of wild. Shoots up, goes back down, chops, goes down. It's not very clear where it's going. I mean, sometimes it is able to make a trend visible later in the day, but a lot of the time the stock kind of has to lead itself instead of the market giving it any type of tailwind in either direction. So the market kind of chopped around a lot. It was below VWAP for a lot of the day since like 1, but again, it was pretty choppy. Into the 25th, it again was super choppy, very hard to trade price action. But in general, as I said, on a daily, BIDU is just super weak. And throughout this market rally, BIDU has been just weak. It's been showing weakness basically every day compared to the market. And that you can lean on for a short, and you have a higher probability that it will continue down than you do it will just reverse on you. So I don't know. This stock is definitely something I could have been holding a lot longer than I have been, or a lot longer than I did. I just been trading this multiple times. I could have just been holding it the whole time for like a long-term swing. But this trade 64 cents. It was a decent trade. I feel like it wasn't the worst. I mean, entry again, but other than that, it wasn't I think an overall decent trade. Also, something just came to my mind. I want to start ranking my trades on a scale of 1 to 5 um, before taking it. And I want to put this in a log. So for me, I have my own. I made a Discord just where I am in and my girlfriend, but so it's just basically a Discord for myself. And then in there, I have like a live day trade. I mean, like a live trading channel where I post all my trades live. Um, and that's just a lot to do with. I feel like I was gonna post trades live in the real day trading chat room in one option, but I don't feel like my picks are of the highest quality yet, and I don't want to kind of fill the chat room with kind of like not the best trades. So I'm gonna try to build my confidence with these trades by just posting them in a live chat room just where I'm in, and also just for documenting purposes as well. But that's where I'm gonna be writing the rank for the trades, and then I'm gonna like kind of put that in my journal, and then at the end of each week and then maybe each month, I'll see what rank I gave these trades and what percent win each rank gets. And that would just tell me a lot of information. I know Harry said to do this in one of his wiki articles, so I'm taking it from that. But it would give you like if you have kind of a good um, ability to rank these trades, like what a good trade is. Do you know what a bad trade is? Do you know if a trade is better than this trade? It kind of gives you more awareness of your ability to analyze trades. But but going back to the trades, not to get too sidetracked. That was BIDU. The next one is Carvana, CV and A. Okay, so I went long Carvana. We can first go over the D1. Carvana is a stock where, as you'll see, it's been strong since like the 17th of June, and it showed its strength on the 25th, which is actually the day I bought it. But it's one of these. It was definitely had some resistance at this level, at this high, and then it has resistance at this high plus trend line as well coming up. So it was one of these stocks where you kind of had to be picky, especially with your entry, which I don't believe I don't believe I was good with my entries for this whole week. Basically, it was just something in general I need to work on. I was just rushing them all, like every single one, and kind of going into them blindly. So we can look at the M5 now. So I entered on the 25th. So the 25th, I mean, super strong M5 chart, just basically straight up all day. So I entered in at 3:10, so a little late in the day, well, pretty late in the day. After I saw this green key bar, I'm pretty sure I entered in around here at 126.57. So like about the low of this, yeah, close to the low of this candle. And I entered one share. I just saw the strength all day today, and I saw on the daily. I think what was the high of this day? 129. So I knew I had some distance until, 126 to one. I'm a little less than $3 until like $2.50 until I thought I would be hitting resistance. So I held until the next day, which I had to because of PDT. But so I held until the next day, and it opened down a little bit, gap down a little bit. Super volatile early on, just how it normally is. Really wasn't doing anything, kind of down a little bit, but then it started showing strength again. But I exited. I exited early. I should have stuck with my guns. I should have been confident in this trade, but I exited. I got scared out again. So that's another thing I'm gonna write down: confidence. in game plan. So not only do I need to work on my creation of my game plans, but I also need to work on trusting them. Because if you have a game plan but you never trust it, then you can never base your decisions on. You can never really trust your decisions because you never really followed them. If that makes sense. So I need to trust my game plan more and just be more confident in my analysis. Because I exited at 10:36, so like here. So basically right before it went up a lot. But I exited, and then I saw this. So I exited at 127.31. I made 74 cents. I made 74 cents for the one share, which isn't the best for Carvana. It's not really that great at all. My entry was poor and I exited early. I mean, what can I expect? But it wasn't that great of a trade in general. I mean, it was okay, but as I mentioned, I had a lot of mistakes with this trade as well. Okay, moving on. There's a lot more. Okay, moving on. Walmart. WMT. So Walmart I took on June 26th as well. So June 26th. I mean, you can see early on, especially the strength Walmart had. So I like that a lot. The D1, let's see what SPY's doing on the same days. So the 26th. Okay. So 26 SPY's kind of doing nothing. Walmart super strong early in the day. SPY not really any direction. So I like this a lot. And I entered at 10.21. One share. 10.21. So around here at 68.01. Or no, $68.10. So like right here. Again, I could have waited for a better entry. I mean, this is one of those stocks where I feel like my entry, since it was so rushed, went in my favor, but that's not sustainable. It's not consistent. So it wasn't a good entry in that way. I really should have waited until like an LRSI alert or something like that, like around here. So basically just around here, or maybe an HA reversal. So like here or here. But I mean, by then it would have missed the majority of the move. So maybe in general, this wasn't the best trade. This was a trade maybe for more experienced traders that have confidence in their entry early on before seeing a good entry position. But for me, I really should have just waited for a better entry or found another stock. But still, I traded it. I exited at 27th at 10:18 a.m. So I'm pretty sure I exited when it I exited right when it dropped below VWAP, which is a decent exit. I mean, it's definitely a decent exit on a M5 basis. It was choppy on the 27th. SPY was also kind of choppy as well. I mean, it had, really nothing. It stuck next to VWAP basically all day and stayed in a range. But so it wasn't, to me, showing its strength it had the following day. So I was a little I guess I was hyper vigilant on what the stock's going to be doing. So right when it cracked below VWAP, I'm like, okay, what is SPY doing? So it cracked below VWAP around 10:15. What is SPY doing at 10:15? It also showed a red candle, but it was still above VWAP. So I don't know. I didn't really like this, and I thought, okay, this may be a good time to exit, and it was a good time to exit. I mean, on a D1 basis, I probably could have held it longer. I mean, this is the similar setup to Nvidia. Pretty strong D1, like for a while. Then gap down, and now it's like potentially could fill this gap, but also just get back to the all-time high. But still, it's these longs. I feel like I've tried to trade a couple of them swing wise, and they just seem like they're chopping it around right now, and that's not really a position I want to be swing trading, like holding, because of just how the market could potentially like dip, and I don't want to be holding a bunch of these stocks that are not even showing strength right now, and we're just compressing. So I mean, I could see myself possibly going long on the stock once it closes below the high of 26th and trying to get to the 24th high. But again, this isn't the best stock that I could find, especially for a swing trading basis. I feel like there's other stocks that are better. But I made for Walmart for the one share 21 cents, which isn't the best, but something like Walmart, what is it? Let's see the ATR. Yeah, that's about a little less than a fourth of an ATR, which isn't that great, but that's something I feel like that's something I should put down as well. Work on better profit target. With better entries. Okay. Next stock. I think this video is going to be pretty long, probably close to 2 hours. Amazon. Okay, Amazon. So I went long on June 26th. Okay, June 26th. I mean, the strength is undeniable. It's super strong, and the volume is great. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people took this trade on the 26th. I mean, yeah, a lot of people took this trade in the chat room. Especially this early move has just been super strong. So I got in at around 10:28. So around this candle, and held it until 10:45. Yeah. So the reason I got out here was this was at the level of 191. The reason I got out there was, so by the way, this is when I got my day trades back this Wednesday. So I used one of my day trades on Amazon. The reason I got out at 129 was, or 191 was because that was the high of the June 24th candle, and that was close to the high of the May 9th candle. So it was just kind of a lot of potential resistance that could have been met there, and there was resistance there. I mean, if you look at the chart, it was definitely met by some type of resistance around the 129 level. I mean, it was like kind of chopping it around a little bit until it started to finally kind of break out of that level and continued higher. This is one of those stocks where Amazon has been just, like, in general, been pretty good. I mean, on the 28th, it broke back down below this high plus trend line, but these 2 days is just, especially this, the 26th is just a super good day to day trade it. For me, I would have. I mean, you could potentially hold this as a swing, but I didn't want to hold this as a swing because of this resistance level it was at when I exited. I didn't know if it would have held, if it would have, if Amazon could have broke through it, because it was kind of just chopping around. So I just felt more comfortable taking profits at the time, and also had this high plus trend line coming up that I knew would have provided some resistance as well. So I felt comfortable just taking gains at around 191 level. So that I think that was a pretty decent trade as well, pretty decent day trade. Okay, next stock. CVNA again, Carvana. So this is when I went back to for some reason I wanted to do more than one share, which I don't know why, but CVNA. So I did 3 shares of this, and I just added. So this trade wasn't the best already starting out based off that, what I just said. So took this trade on the 26th, so same day, as a day trade. As I mentioned before, I exited my last Carvana swing around, I think, the 1035 level, so I basically missed this whole trade. Then it was followed by this heavy selling, and I had a feeling that this buying pressure wasn't just going to go away. So I initially bought at I don't know, just straight. I don't like it looking back at it because I bought at 11 o'clock at 1:30. So I think I was just trying to I think I had FOMO a little bit maybe, where I was like, dang, I missed this huge grind higher, basically right when I exited my swing. So I'm like, let me get in. So I got in basically at the high or close to the high at 1:30, 17, and 11. Yeah, so on this candle. And then it started dropping. And so then I got in again at 128. So at 11:12. So this candle. So 128. So here. And then I got in again around 127.70 at 11:15. Yeah, so my average was 128.63 average entry price. Then I exited at 11:26. For 129.52. So I made $2.67 or 89 cents per share. Looking back at this trade, this was not a good trade. This was a horrible trade. This was FOMO. This was scalping, basically. This was just not what the system is trying to teach. So I definitely regret doing this type of trade. My day trades kind of got the best of me. I mean, I kind of was like, okay, I have so many day trades. I have 3 day trades today. I could use them all if I want to. And so I was just trying to look for kind of setups that I could use them, and this wasn't the best of the best setup. I mean, I definitely could have made more looking for other stocks, or even just seeing this stock earlier in the day. I could have made more. But just learning from write down in my notes, don't FOMO into trades. Okay. Moving on. Okay. Costco. Okay, the 26th. So I also day traded this stock as well. Okay. Just already looking at this chart, it's definitely not one of the stronger. It's definitely not one of the stronger M5 charts during this day. I know a lot of charts like Amazon were super strong. So just so that's right off the bat. I got in at 11:20. So around here, again, I mean, this wasn't the worst entry, but I didn't remember setting an alert, so it wasn't a good entry in that way. I should have really got in around here, like the LRSI alert. So this would have been a good entry. So instead around maybe 11:40 instead of 11:20, and then I got out around 1:09. So around here. This wasn't the worst exit either for a day trade. It's just I knew this potentially would serve as a resistance level this high, and so I knew to look out for that. And I mean, it's probably a little early, but still, I mean, I could have made a little more, but it basically chopped around here. But I probably should have waited a little more until this resistance level actually showed as resistance instead of maybe exiting a little early. But again, entry is definitely something I need to work on. But this trade wasn't that bad because I was just planning to day trade it. But again, that was my last day trade of the week. So the rest of the week has to be swinging. So maybe looking back, I should, under PDT, conserve day trades. So I think I need to be more conservative with my day trades. I can't just use them all up the day I get them, because there's going to be some days where a day trade could be super profitable, and I need to have those day trades available during those days. So, and especially under PDT, I think I need to be just more strict with my acceptance of these stocks. I mean, I can't just accept any stock that looks pretty good. I need to be more strict with it, because a lot of the stocks that look good on a M5 basis probably don't look the greatest on the D1 basis, and really means I can't swing them. And I need a good D1 basis to swing, because it's just the risk is super high, super higher if it was a bad D1. So back to stocks, so it looks like I traded Costco again on the 26th. Oh yeah, I think I got back into Costco. I don't know why I did this. I think I got back into Costco on the 26th, right at almost like 2:49. Yeah, 2:49. So I got back at Costco around here. So basically the low of the day, which I guess is not. I mean, oh, I'm sorry. This is the 28th. So 2:49. It's around here. I don't really know. I think I was trying to swing trade it because I thought it would have been a decent swing trade, because this has the same setup as Walmart and NVIDIA a little bit. NVIDIA just a kind of drop down, and now it's consolidating. So I don't know. I think for these stocks, I should have really waited until a kind of like a break, but above this, like in this instance, a break above this halfway point, a close above it, which it hasn't done really. Then maybe going long would be a good idea, but just in general, swing trading this stock wasn't a great idea. It actually resulted in a loss for me. So I held it until the 28th because of the 28th. and I sold it at 10.29 for $854.48 for a loss of $3.50 per share, which isn't a horrible loss, but it's just this entry was not the greatest. And on a D1 basis, I really, looking back, I can't, it's just strong strength, but these two, this key bar, it just shows selling strength, and it really hasn't proven that it can get back up. I mean, I do think there's a pretty high possibility that it can, and it will go back up to its all-time high and possibly challenge it. But when, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be this week or if it's going to be in a couple weeks. I just wouldn't feel comfortable swing trading this, especially with the market backdrop and how there's a possible dip that could be coming, especially after the 28th kind of bullish hammer. Yeah, I really shouldn't have taken this as a swing trade looking back, but so I'm gonna write down in my mistake notes. Only take best of the best D1 charts for swing trade. Okay. So I'll go over the last one that I closed, which is Pan W. And then I'll go over the ones that are still open. Pan W, I got in on the 27th. So Pan W. So as you can see, just strength and then kind of goes nowhere after. But I got in at 10:31. So around this candle at $340.50. So around here. And then I sold it on the 28th. Because I remember I don't have any day trades left. I sold it on the 28th at 9:52. $9.52 right here at $343.11. So, and I made $2.61 for the share. With this trade, let's look at the daily. So with this trade, I liked how it got entered into the gap from the February 20th to February 21st gap. I like how it entered into it. And I like the strength it showed on the 27th. Ideally, I would have day traded it on the 27th, but again, I didn't have any day trades left, so I was kind of forced to swing trade it or not trade it. And I liked it enough that I was entered into the gap. But looking back, maybe this wasn't the smartest of plays. Maybe as a day trade it was a good trade, but maybe as a swing trade it wasn't the highest probability, so I maybe shouldn't have taken it. Kind of just thinking about that right now. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have taken this as a swing trade, just because it's strong on the daily for the last 20 days, but it's not so strong. It's not undeniably strong. It's in this gap, which I like, but again, it hasn't proven that it has continued strength. It had one day. So maybe I don't think this was the greatest swing trade. This was a good day trade, definitely. And I still think it can be a good day trade moving forward. But as a swing trade that I did, wasn't the greatest. So yeah. Okay, now to the open positions I have. So Meta. I have open. This trade is not doing the greatest. I was busy and could not do trading later in the day on Friday. So this trade really, I may have to just take a pretty big loss on Monday. But I entered on the 27th. I entered on the 27th at 10:19. So basically at the high. So again, not a good entry. Yeah, not a good entry at all. A better entry would have been here. That would have been a better entry. But in general, I liked Meta on the D1 basis. And I'll show you why in a little bit. But I entered in at 10:19 and 522.68. So 522.60. So like basically the high of the day. So again, work on entry. But I exited, or I'm not exited, I'm still in it. But on the D1 basis is what I liked. I like this breach of the high minus trend line on the 26th, followed by the 27th. The thing is, on the 28th, it initially had this very strong strength. But as the market pulled back and started showing a more bearish trend down, Meta was following in its place. It wasn't showing relative strength against this. And so that to me told me, do I want to hold this stock longer term? Because I agree. I plan to exit this trade for probably a pretty substantial loss if it's not able to break through this trend line again on Monday. Because this just shows me, I mean, it's kind of just chop. And this strength, this breach would tell me that this was kind of a false breakout, and I would have to take the loss. I would have, my first game, an original game plan, but I was busy during the end of Friday, was to exit once it got below this trend line for a loss. But I was not able to get to my computer until the end of the day, so I wasn't able to just take a smaller loss. But that's the deal with Meta. Wasn't a bad trade. It just was not. The market wasn't going in the favor of the trade, and Meta couldn't hold its own. So that's when I really should have exited for a loss. But yeah. Another trade I've opened is BIDU, another short of BIDU. So I am short. I shorted it at 10:42 a.m. So it was a decent level. I mean, I think I may have set an alert on this trade, but probably a better entry point would have been around here. That's where the LRSI kind of crossed. So like around here, but I entered maybe a little earlier than technically I should have. But I entered at 87.28. So about actually 10:42. Yeah, actually, it's about where I would have entered if I set an alert. But 87.28, and so I'm currently in profit right now. But I think this trade is a pretty decent trade in my opinion. It, as we mentioned, BIDU is very weak, um, and I believe it's gonna continue to be weak. Um, it's has relative weakness against the market, and when the market pulls back, it continues to pull back as well. So I like this trade still. I'm happy I'm still in it. I'm happy I'm still in it, but yeah. The last one is JPM, um, JP Morgan. Um, so this trade, similar to Meta, I like this breach of the high minus trend line. I like this continued strength. Earnings isn't until about 2 weeks from now. Um, so yeah, I like that. On an M5 basis, JPM was just super strong on Friday when the market was super weak. It definitely showed relative strength throughout the whole day. It rallied with the market, and then it even trended upward slightly as the market started selling off. So I really like JPM. JPM is probably my favorite pick that I have on right now. Just the relative strength that it showed on Friday. So I'm long JPM I went long at 11.20. Um, so 11.20. I did set an LSRI alert on this stock. Um, so I set an HA reversal and LSRI alert on this stock. So I entered in at 201.94 at 11.21. So 201.94. It's around right here. And I'm still in it. Currently in small profit for it as well. And I just like it just from how strong it is compared to the market. But yep, that's my month in review. It wasn't a full month, but it was a decent amount of trades. It was 21 trades. Definitely have a lot to improve on. Let me just go over that real quick. So I have don't rush entries. That's definitely one thing I need to work on for next week into the next month. Entries, I don't want to. I'm going to put a challenge up to myself to not enter a trade unless I have an alert triggered, an LRSI alert or an HA reversal alert triggered on some time basis to enter. That's going to be one of my challenges for next month. I also want to stick with my game plan that I lay out in detail before I take the trade. I think it's important to have confidence in your market analysis and your stock analysis and lean on that and improve that instead of kind of going just free, like just on your own whim in a little bit, kind of just like doing what you want. So I think it's important to kind of be objective and have an analysis already set and go with it, but have it be a realistic one. Don't have it be some crazy profit target that's never going to be reached or most likely not going to be reached. I also want to work on my mental profit targets and mental stop losses at technical levels and an ATR level. I'm going to do more research into like what levels are important and what levels are valid to take profit on and to take losses on, and kind of structure my trades off that. I also want to rank my trades before I take them on a scale of 1 to 5. So it kind of can show my ability to see good trades, okay trades, excellent trades, and kind of see the win rate based off that. And I want to work on not having a FOMO into trades and not like, especially under PDT, I don't want to waste my day trades on FOMO trades. I want to have a technical reason to be in them and a technical reason to get out of them every day trade. And especially on swing trades, I can't FOMO into them because I have to hold them overnight. I want to also conserve my day trades to the best of the best day trades. These day trades for under PDT is super, super valuable, as you only get 3 every 5 trading days. So I need to conserve them for the best use case. And lastly, I only want to take the best of the best. I need to remember this. The best of the best is what I need to only take. I cannot be messing around with even slightly lower probability trades, because in this early in my trading journey, it's about consistency and getting my win rate as high as possible for the 3 months that's needed to trade a higher amount. So, I'm going to focus on finding really good D1 trades for my swing trading that I can definitely lean on, and I really want to find entering well on an M5 basis, on the M15 basis, and just being more technical with my trades. So that's my month/week in review. I plan to do this every week for each week at the end of it on a Saturday or Sunday. And then I'm going to, at the end of each month, make a longer video like this, possibly going through every trade or at least kind of a consensus of each week that I do it. But yeah, thank you for watching. I know this is a long video, but yep, thank you for watching.